I'm required that at the synagogue. Last wedding I did, 18 people got COVID. It wasn't because of me, but and everybody had tested beforehand, supposedly. So let's just keep everybody safe.
Indeed.
Computers, so I can make sure the live stream's going. And I think we're on. Should we
Yeah,
sing?
fantastic. Yeah, let's do it. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. If you are here for the Goldstein wedding, you're in the wrong place, because we're going to celebrate with Sierra as she becomes a bat mitzvah today, this morning. Hine matov, how good it is for all of us to be here this morning. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, yalalai, yalalalalai. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, yalalai, yalalalalai. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Yeah,
Why
take
not?
it away.
Shabbat Shalom. So I say Shabbat Shalom means a Sabbath of peace or peaceful Shabbat, and you say it back. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnis with Cantor Doug Kotler. We welcome you here to Shabbat morning services at Congregation Or Ami. As you ready?
Yeah.
You don't have to get up yet, but you want to be Sierra. You ready for this bat mitzvah?
Oh, she's
as
totally
Sierra
ready, Rabbi.
takes the first steps on the path to becoming a bat mitzvah. We welcome all of you who are here with us in the sanctuary for services, and all of you who are streaming with us from all over via the live stream. Thank you to Live Control and Jacob Bronstein for taking care of all our live control needs. A special thank you to Adam Frank and the COVID crew. They just let us know they're here. They're watching too, and we are thrilled you're here watching us on a big screen TV. I'm going to drop in the chat for everybody in a minute our online prayer book, so you can pray along maybe on a second screen if you want. For all of you here, you have your prayer book, so that is awesome. We're going to be in the sanctuary space for...
Till Tuesday.
Till Tuesday. It's going to be a long service. We're going to be here for about 90 minutes. If you need to use the restrooms and you're here in the sanctuary, you just go out the door and immediately to the left, and the restrooms are down there. If you're at home and you need to use the restroom, I hope you know where it is. If you need a glass of water or something, go out and to the right. There's a divider there. And behind the divider is a sink with a filtered water faucet and some cups up above. Just drink the water out there if you can before you come back in. If you're thirsty or hungry and you're streaming in, Grubhub, Postmates,
Just
Uber Eats.
go to the refrigerator.
Refrigerator.
That'll
Okay.
work, too.
This is a tough crowd.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, we need new material.
Yeah.
So
You need some new material.
I need it. A rabbi and a cantor walk into it.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled you're here. We are a singing congregation, a celebrating congregation. Most of the prayers we have will have a lai track or a musical piece. Let me actually help you with, how many of you speak Hebrew? I need a couple of you. Okay. For the rest of you, repeat after me. In Hebrew, lai. Okay. For the those who need a translation, it translates as
Lie.
lie. Okay, you're set there. They're warming up a little bit.
You're
doing it.
funny today.
Okay, I'm like, this would be a great time to take out your cell phones and turn them off. That's my son and daughter. There's another kid, but he's on the lock screen. turn them off. I find that the cell phone that goes off during the service is the one that you are 100% sure is off. So take it out. If you are 50 or older, you must take out your cell phone. It's not going to be the kids whose cell phone goes off. Your cell phone? Awesome. Well, no. You don't have a cell phone. I like that. You have it. Okay. And it's off. Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. We're thrilled. Let's, Cantor Doug, do you have
So, well, just because you're in such a good mood, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I want to sing a song and dedicate it to Sierra's mother and father. I wrote this song for the occasion of my eldest son's bar mitzvah, but I'll dedicate it to you. Well, she's been studying her Torah portion for, I don't know how long. I don't know why, but my wife keeps thinking the bat mitzvah's going all wrong. She says it's a big affair, and I haven't a thing to wear, but I say, don't worry, baby, sing with me. Don't worry, everything will turn out all right. Don't worry, baby, baby, ooh. We redecorated, paid the orthodontist and the Hebrew school a check. I've spent my 401k and my IRA, but oy vey, what the heck? My life's in disarray, but it's a special day, and I say, don't worry, baby, don't worry, everything will turn out all right. Don't worry, baby. It's a traditional bat mitzvah song, Rabbi.
Shall I go?
Yeah, we're gonna, she needs a talit, and
Let's do that then.
we're gonna start doing some prayers
I'm going to
here.
invite Mom and Dad to join me up here on the bima. And Sierra. How we doing? Sierra, when a young woman turns 13 and takes the first step on the road to adulthood, there are certain rights and privileges that go with this moment. And the first of them is the privilege of wearing a talit. A talit is just a cloth, but on the four corners, you have these strings. And when they're wrapped a certain number of times and tied with these 5 knots, the strings become tzitzit, fringes, and the garment becomes a talit. We're taught in the Torah to wrap ourselves on 4 corners with these tzitzit. They're reminders of the 613 mitzvot, the commandments in Torah, that instruct us, goad us to live a good, honest, ethical, ritual-filled, a Jewish life. In a moment, you'll take this talit and place it around your shoulders. You'll be wrapped in the love of these 2 people who have known you all your life. You'll be wrapped in the love and support of everyone here and everybody out there on the live stream. And tradition teaches us that we're wrapped in God's loving arms. Wherever you go, whenever you put on this talit, know that you are transported at once back to this moment of becoming and transported forward into a life, God willing, filled with goodness and blessing. So turn and take the talit from the hands of Mom and Dad and turn back and say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehit atef batzitzit.
Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, God of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and commands us to wrap ourselves in the fringes of the talit. At special moments like this, We Jews want to mark it with a blessing. We want to thank God for giving us life, for keeping us in life, and for bringing us to this joyous occasion, a moment of growing, of becoming. You too remember way back when she was this little baby you held in your hands, and you watched her roll over and then start to crawl and get up and start to run and go out into that world, and now becoming this amazing young woman that she is. Lest it go by too fast, let's mark it and hold on to it with Shehechianu. If you know it, sing along with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiman higianu lazman hazeh. And we'll turn to our prayer book now. In fact, the very, very last page. Remember, it's a Hebrew book. Goes from right to left. It's page 388. A page of lyrics. If you're using our virtual prayer book on the live stream at home, it's page 1. Shema b'ni, take these wings to fly with. Shem EBT, with these roots you will grow. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, you are the blessing. Shema b'ni, Shem EBT. God's children come into this shelter, a place of peace, a house of prayer, a center of learning, of justice, of giving, where everyone's loved and where everyone cares. Shema b'ni, Shem EBT. A mother comes, the cry of her infant. A young boy reads and becomes a man. Vows are exchanged as two hearts become one. A daughter returns, reads Kaddish again. So you will fly on wings of eagles, and you will grow like a sturdy tree. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema b'ni, Shem EBT.
Our service now continues with the Chatzi Kaddish. It's on page 106 on the prayer books in the sanctuary, page 2 at home on the online. If you were able to, please rise.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba be'alma divrach yutei ve'amlich malchutei בחייכם וביומכם ובחיידכם בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה. יברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא. ואמרו אמן.
Turn the page.
108.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamivorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamivorach Hamivorach Leolam Vaed. Hamivorach Hamivorach Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We turn to page 115, or page 3 at home, 115.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter, it gets in the way. And listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. So close your eyes and listen. And if you're able, we'll rise and together sing the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Voed. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
Please be seated. We turn to page 116 as we chant together the Ve'ahavta. 116, page 3 at home.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבביך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. Page 120 in the prayer book here, page 4 at home. Let's join together in Micha Mocha. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא דהילות אוסף אלה, נורא דהילות אוסף אלה.
Together, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים, שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים, לשמך, לשמך, על שפת הים, לשמך, לשמך, על שפת הים.
Together, ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
יחד כולם, כולם הודו, 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 וימלכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la.
So those of you in the sanctuary have been now worshiping with us for about 20 minutes. I want to reintroduce you to our prayer book because it's created for moments when we have people who aren't from our congregation here with us or from anywhere. In this room are Jews, Christians, perhaps Buddhists, Muslims, Hindus, people. For the Jews, those who go to services regularly, those who don't go at all or very rarely. How do we create a meaningful moment? Check out this prayer book. Look on page 126 and 127. The right-hand page has all the Hebrew. That's what our bat mitzvah, Sierra, is chanting. You can chant along with her with the Hebrew right there, just to the left. See the transliteration, the English words, Baruch atah Adonai. Those are the Hebrew, but in English letters. It's called a transliteration. If you want to know what the prayer means, look right under the Hebrew. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, and so on. The left-hand page will have 2 or 3 prayers on the same theme, but that look at God or life or spirituality differently. You may want to surf over to that page and check that out while she's chanting. Or you can chant along, of course. And under the lines at the bottom of the page, you'll see commentary, either about these prayers specifically or prayer in general. So here's the idea. You get permission to create an experience that's meaningful to you as she chants along. It may be chanting with her, or it may be perusing the others, or it may be sitting back and taking in the beautiful music and chanting. It's up to you. We hope you feel welcome. Now feel welcome to please rise for the Amidah. Page 126, page 5 at home.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chastadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zoher Chastei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Atah Adonai Elo Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Page 128.
Atagi Bor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Baal Givurot Umido Melach Melech Mimi Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanata Lahachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol.
Please be seated. We have one more prayer to do. Sierra, come on up, back up. Page 132 is the Veshamru. At home, the virtual prayer book, it's page 4. Shamaru, the Nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam.
השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם.
We'll return in our prayer book now again to that very, very last page, page 388. At home, it's page 6. In the garden, there's a tree planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand, and it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study, the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of joy, because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea, and they made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. The fruit will ripen in the sun, trumpets will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along, the fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me.
Misha, come on up. You don't need your prayer books already. Mom and Dad? And Opa and Oma, Steve and Renee. And to help us open the ark, we invite up Uncle Bill and Auntie Stephanie, standing in for Tante Tina and Uncle Coleo, who are taking care of themselves, we hope, and we look forward to parting with you in a couple of weeks. Right? Where are we going? Wherever we want. Okay, we're going out. Let me invite everyone to please rise.
Ki mitzihon tetze Torah, ki mitzihon tetze Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael Bekidushato.
Sierra, Vizot HaTorah, this is the Torah. Vizot HaDakan, this is the moment we prepare to pass it down to you. This Torah has crossed oceans and continents, across this country, across centuries, to be here today, to be passed down midor lador from generation to generation, to come into your arms, to be carried by you, to be read by you, to exist again because of you. This Torah, as you'll see in a minute, is a heavy Torah. Heavy not just because its ideas are heavy, but because physically this is the heaviest Torah I have ever held in my entire life. But it's heavy also because of those ideas. You know, we live in a world that tells us it's all about being happy. And Torah comes to tell us that happiness is good, but we've been put on this earth to strive to be holy. We live in a world that tells us it's all about making a buck, about getting rich. And Torah says money is okay, it's good. But we should always remember that we've been given what we have to help enrich the lives of everyone. And Torah comes at a time when we're taught it's all about me, that I can do what I want. But Torah comes to remind us that each of us has been put on this earth, this broken, messed up world, to fix it, to transform it into a place filled with emet, truth, and tzedek, justice, to fill it with ahava, with love, so it will become a place of shalom, of peace. I know you have shoulders broad enough to carry this responsibility, a mind wise enough, incisive enough, and a heart open and compassionate enough to know how to take Torah, to carry it in your heart and in your mind out into the world and repair it. V'zot hadakah, this is the moment. V'zot hadakah, HaTorah, that we pass Torah to you. And even as we pass it to these grandparents here, we remember your Grandma Barbara and your Oma Sigrid and your Opa Wolfie, all of whom would be very, very proud of the young woman you are becoming.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh, Shema. Put your prayer books on the seat behind you and clap your hands. Hallelujah, 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 Yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmadu od milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, yilmadu od milchama.
I'd like to call up to the bima cousin Dylan to help us undress the Torah. And Misha, when you get up here, you'll stay here with me.
Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmadu od milchama. Hallelujah, 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 Please be seated.
How many of you have ever seen a Torah up close? Okay, so about a quarter of you haven't. Those who haven't, I'm going to hold it up in a little bit so you'll be able to see it. Here's the amazing thing. Hebrew, your first language?
No,
No? Second? No?
no.
How many languages do you speak?
I don't know. One Spanish, kind of a little bit.
English, a little Spanish?
Yes.
Okay, so now I can read Hebrew, so we're starting that process. So this amazing young woman had to learn how to read Hebrew. Once she did that, we gave her a Torah portion. She learned how to read it with the vowels and chant it with an ancient melody that goes back to around 444 BCE, the time of the Masoretes, the scribes. Actually, it may have been a little later, but I'm not a historian. So then once she got that, we took away the vowels because there are no vowels in Torah. And then we took away the musical notes because there's no musical notes in Torah, and you learned it again. And then we brought you to the Torah, to your house, and you practiced there, and it's a different calligraphy script than the basic one she started learning with. So she learned and learned and learned and learned and learned. What you're going to see is nothing less than a miracle. As miraculous as a baby being born, or the sunset when it paints the skies, or when someone like is in the depths of addiction and through the 12 steps or something else raises themselves up. It's that miraculous. Ancient words, 2,500, 5,000 years old, that are still the basis of Judaism. There isn't a civilization that uses its earliest texts in the same way that we do. And she's bringing it to life again as a thoroughly modern woman in the 21st century.
Yep.
As we go forward. So brace yourself for the miraculous. Now, to help us get there, we're going to call up a number of relatives for an Aliyah Torah, to physically come up here on the Bima, but more importantly, to bless Torah, our spiritual source book. Now, two things. One is, I have the prayers in Hebrew and transliteration, so don't worry, I'll help you along. And when you come up, you go to the other side of her, come close to the Torah, and you'll bless, and we'll help you with that. The second thing is a big shout out to Diane Townsend, this Sierra's bat mitzvah teacher. Diane is a teacher, a coach, a friend, a nurturer, helped this process along even more, helped make this happen. And you've already experienced some of it as Sierra led the prayers. Now watch Diane's amazing leadership and support as Sierra chants. So let's call up some relatives.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to call up for our first Aliyah, Opa Steve and Oma Renee. Please come up. Yamdu Harishon Mordechai ben Abraham Gedalia Harishon. Baruch Adonai Morach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kibaranu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Legershon mishpachat halivni umishpachat hashimi. Elehem mishpachot hagershuni. Pekudehem b'mispar kol zachar miben chodesh v'mala. Pekudehem shivat alafim v'hamesh me'ot. Mishpachot hagershuni. Acharei hamishkan. Yachanu Yama.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
For our second Aliyah, we call up great aunts and uncles, Paul, Susie, Judy, and Stan. Please come up. Yamdu Hasheni Pinchas ben Abraham Gedalia, Shoshana bat Levu, V'chaya v'chayim Shmuel.
We got you, folks. Don't worry.
av Gershuni, El Yasaf ben Lael, Umishmeret b'nei Gershon, be'ohel moed, Hamishkan v'ha'ohel, Michsehu, Umasach, Petach ohel moed, V'kol hechatzer, Ve'et masach, Petach hechatzer, Asher al hamishkan, ve'al hamizbeach saviv, ve'et metarav l'chol avodato.
On the green song, turn it over. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata mitochenu, baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Come this way.
For our third aliyah, we call up Uncle Bill, Auntie Heather, Auntie Stephanie, Uncle Rob, and cousins Gavin, Jared, and Maddie. Please come up. Yamdu Hashlishi, Zev ben Mordechai v'Bela, v'Chayat Surah, bat Chaim v'Naomi, v'Shoshana bat Mordechai v'Bela, v'Ruven ben Gil v'Claire, v'Gil ben Ruven v'Shoshana, v'Yona ben Ruven v'Shoshana, v'Esther bat Zev v'Chaya. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vilikat, Mishpachat Amrami, Umishpachat Yitzari, Umishpachat Hevroni, Umishpachat Ozieli, Elehem Mishpechot Hakehati, Bimispar Kol Zachar, Mi Ben Chodesh Vamala, Shmonat Alafim, Veshe Shmeot, Shomrei Mishmeret HaKodesh, Mishpechot B'nei Kehat, Yachanu Al, Yerech HaMishkan Teimana.
Okay, so turn over the green side.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. I'll take you back, give her a hug or kiss or a handshake or whatever. Great job. That was impressive.
You got it.
That was very impressive. Great job. Fantastic. Good job.
For our fourth aliyah, we call up Mom and Dad. Yamdu Harivihi Aharon ben Mordechai v'Bela.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Unsivet av Lemishpechot Takehati, Elitzaphan ben Uziel, Umishmartam, Ha'aron, V'hashulchan, V'haminarah, V'hamizbechot, Uchle HaKodesh, Asher Yeshartu Bahem, V'hamasach, V'chol Avodato, Unsi Nisi'e Halevi El-Azar ben Aharon HaKohen, Pekudat Shomrei Mishmeret HaKodesh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Give her a hug. Just stay there.
For our final aliyah, we call up the bat mitzvah. Tamol hachamishi, habachura bat mitzvah hamaftir, Bela bat Aharon vekeren, Chizki chizki v'nitchazek.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Limrari mishpachat hamachli umishpachat hamushi, Elehem mishpechot mirari, uvkudehem b'mispar kol zachar mi ben chodesh v'amala, sheshet alafim umatayim, unsi veit av lemishpechot mirari, Turiel ben Avichail, Al Yerech Hamishkan, Yachanu Tzafona. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam. Oh, wait, is that?
That's right.
You're right.
Nata b'dochenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Awesome. Okay. Those two people aren't here. Do you want to just have the kids do it, or are we calling up the kids do it? Okay. So why don't you stand right there at the corner? Go stand in front of your parents right at the corner. To help us dress the Torah, we're going to call up Misha again and cousin Dylan again. Come on, stand right here. Let me invite everyone to please rise as we give honor to the Torah.
Zot HaTorah asher somo shelefnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai be'ad Moshe. Etz Chaim hi lemachzikim bo v'tom ha'mehushat derachea darchei Noam v'chol netivotea shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashua Kadesh Kadesh Amenu Kadesh Amenu
mask off, if you will. Okay. Go.
Sierra, I'm really proud of you. That was amazing. I really admire how funny, smart, and persistent you are. I love playing D&D with you, and when you teach my advanced math class. It's annoying that it had to stop. Congratulations on your bat mitzvah. I really love you.
Mom and Dad? Good. And you stay there. Smile. And you take your mask off too. There you go.
Sierra, I am so proud of you becoming a bat mitzvah today. All your hard work and dedication really paid off. You did such a beautiful job. It has been a joy to see you grow and see who you are. In some ways, staying the same, and in other ways, ever evolving. One thing that has stayed pretty consistent is how you like to learn. Beginning with when you were first learning to talk, then learning to read, and more recently learning the violin. Your preference has always been to study, observe, and practice in private, and once you feel you've mastered the skill, then present it to others. I remember one day last summer, you casually asked me if you could apply for a design job. And to make a long story short, you can ask Sierra for the details later. The next thing I knew, you were asking me which day might work for your Zoom interview. On your own, you had emailed the organization, created an online portfolio for their review, and impressed them enough with your work and your communication skills that you landed an interview. I'll never forget your dad and I looking at each other completely flabbergasted. Where did all this come from, and when did she learn these skills? Your preference is held true for learning Hebrew and all the prayers and passages for today. You were diligent and studious, consistently practicing with your headphones on, alone in your bedroom. We knew from your teacher, Diane, that you were doing really, really well, and we were so eager to hear you, and I have to admit to some exasperation when even on Shabbat and the holidays you would not sing aloud with the rest of us. But we trusted you. We know your process, and we know it works for you. We often joked that the first time we would ever hear you speaking Hebrew might be today, the day of your bat mitzvah. And if you had it your way, that's probably how it would have gone. And while some things, like how you like to learn, have stayed the same, what has grown and evolved is your ability to speak in front of others. When the idea of having a bat mitzvah first came up many, many years ago, you expressed the desire to have one, but were consistent in stating that just Opa, me, Daddy, and Misha would be here. You are not a fan of being in the spotlight or performing in front of others. It has been so wonderful to watch how you've grown in this over the last several years. From participating in student council, speaking in class and at school assemblies, and performing the violin, all leading up to today, helping to lead a service with all of these people here, I am so proud of you. One of my favorite quotes as of late is, "If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you." And I have to say, you have definitely challenged yourself and have beautifully changed as a result. I would love you to take a moment and look around the room. Really look at each person. The smiles, the pride, the admiration, the support. Connecting with your friends and family who are here for you today. This is your community. They didn't come because they expected a perfect performance. They came because they love you and support you exactly the way you are. So in the spirit of what challenges you changes you, as you enter your teenage years and adulthood, my invitation is to perhaps dabble in the joys of imperfection. Sometimes it can be much easier, even a relief to share in the learning process and share in our mistakes. Maybe even having a good laugh about it. It creates connection, and it can feel really nice at times to not take life too seriously. I would like to end with my gratitude for what a beautiful person you are. You have a fierce loyalty to your family and friends, a strong sense of what's right and just, a great sense of humor, insightfulness, and empathy. You have so many talents. You are creative, driven, and dedicated. I cannot wait to see where life takes you. You are a gift to the world, a teacher to us, and we are so honored to have you in our lives. I promise we will always be here for you, to cheer you on, to support you, to love you exactly as you are, and to remind you that just like the lotus flower needs mud in order to bloom, that what challenges you will also make you grow. We love you so very, very much.
That was a hard act to follow. I'm going to do my best. Sierra, you never cease to amaze me. To those who know you casually, you may come across as a pretty shy, relatively serious, and fairly casual teenager. Ever since you were a small child, you've preferred to keep things close to the vest and to stay close to home. And there may even be a few people here who are like loving this service because they actually get to hear your voice so much. But behind that quiet, often stoic, and quite adorable, I must say, facade lies so much power and courage and determination that it even catches your mom and I by surprise sometimes. Your mom and I will never forget our very first impression of you. Just hours after you were born, you were already looking around the room as visitors arrived to meet you, observing everything, soaking it all in. It's how you've always approached life, watching, listening, learning, and studying, and then leaping forward in these massive bounds to the point where your mom and I, and your mom just shared a number of these examples that it happens all the time. We just look at each other and we ask, how did she even know how to do that? Where did the bravery to do that come from? And who is this kid anyway? A few weeks ago, we were asking our typical questions about your bat mitzvah. You were so quiet and private as you prepared that we wondered, is she really even practicing in there? Does she know her stuff? Should we be like completely freaking out right now? But as is often the case, you nailed it. You approach today like you approach so many things in life, quietly, steadily, seriously, and with determination. You put in the time and did the only thing that matters. You gave it your best effort. And then, as you often do, you pounced a massive leap like a snow leopard, which, because Misha let us know that's the wildcat that takes the biggest leaps, in a way that made us sit back with amazement and exclaim, wow, how did she even know how to do that? You did an amazing job today, and we're so incredibly proud of how hard you worked in order to perform so well. Ever since I can remember, you've wanted to be treated like an adult. You've wanted to be taken seriously, to be trusted, to be respected as someone with knowledge and with an opinion. Today, as a bat mitzvah, you've put a formal stamp on something that's always been a part of you. I hope that the determination, grit, and caring you demonstrated throughout your studies and your mitzvah project lasts with you for a lifetime, and that you find ways to continuously give back to our community in a lifelong commitment to Tikkun Olam, to repairing the world. Sierra, we're so proud of all that you have accomplished and of who you are. Congratulations and Mazel Tov. We love you very, very much.
And now we move from the parents to the wise one, to our teacher, our bat mitzvah.
Okay. This is very long, so stay with me. Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion, Bimidbar, is in the book of Numbers. I chanted chapter 3, verses 21 through 35. This portion describes events that take place while the ancient Israelites were wandering in the desert. In my section, God is giving certain clans instructions about their various roles regarding the Mishkan, or tabernacle. Imagine an ornate tent around which the Israelite priests offered sacrifices of animals to God, and where the people believed God would come to their leaders to give advice and direction. That was a function of the Mishkan, or tabernacle, a movable sanctuary in the wilderness. It had to be moved from place to place, which was the role of the various clans I read about in the Torah. The instructions of how to take care of the tabernacle were very specific, and this allowed the Israelites to build and take down the tabernacle efficiently and without getting hurt. A good plan can help us complete a task without getting lost or discouraged along the way. I think that the Torah is teaching us an important life lesson, that planning and preparing is a significant and necessary part of being successful. It can also help us become calmer when working on a big project and help us focus more on our tasks. I am learning these lessons myself. As many of you know, I do visual effects. In visual effects, I need to know what elements to put into my work and where they fit in order to create the final piece. Without a plan, it is difficult to make a vision become reality. To be able to make all of that work, I need a plan that details everything I need to do so I can make all the pieces fit together seamlessly. Even my bat mitzvah project ties into my Torah portion. My mitzvah project was unusual because it was not just a bat mitzvah project, it was bat mitzvah projects, 2 of them. Originally, my plan was to tutor 4th and 5th grade students at my school who were either struggling with math or looking to get ahead. I wanted to do this because I really enjoy teaching and watching kids learn under my guidance. But due to COVID surge and the school restrictions, it was not clear if this would happen at that moment. My dad informed me that West Valley Community Resource Fair, an organization ORME works with that supports the unhoused, was looking to create a website to advertise their pop-up events. I had always wanted to be able to help homeless people in some sort of way, so that week I talked with a woman who runs the organization and she agreed that I could create their website. After a few weeks, the website was up and running and my project was complete. Well, actually it was not quite that simple. There's one important detail that was essential to the success of the website that I did not mention, the plan. As I said before, having a thorough, detailed plan is what can keep us on track and help anybody stay productive. When I first started with their website, I did not have this in place and I was struggling. I did not know what the idea for the website was, who was supposed to give me images and writing for the website, and where I should organize everything. I was getting frustrated, so I created a site map, a visual plan that details what goes where and how the layout should look. Then I began emailing people and figuring out exactly who I could reach out to for the materials. When I finally had all the pieces in place, I set to work on it, moving efficiently and productively, and feeling much more calm. Eventually, the COVID restrictions in my school eased, and the principal asked if I was still interested in tutoring. I agreed, and we decided if I would meet with students from 2 different classes. As it turned out, the class in which I met with students who wanted more of a challenge was Misha's 4th grade class. He got to be one of my students, which was fun for both of us. Each time I tutored, I would create a lesson plan for either more advanced work or catch-up work, depending on the class. This really reinforced the importance of what I was learning in my Torah portion. Because of the lesson plans, I was prepared. I was able to clearly and thoroughly explain certain topics and make sure the kids understood what I was teaching. I wanted to become a bat mitzvah because I wanted to have this powerful experience that connects me to generations of my ancestors. Like my dad, I believe this has been an amazing learning experience. To have to plan out my bat mitzvah project, undertake the responsibility of learning Hebrew and the prayers, and how to read from the Torah. Like my mom, I know that being part of the Jewish community can give me a sense of belonging, And whenever I travel the world, I can find a synagogue and be able to connect with people there. Also, whenever I meet someone that is Jewish, I can have an immediate bond with them, and the relationship can be stronger from the start. Becoming a bat mitzvah, doing something that I've prepared to complete for a few years, and finally sharing with people that I care about is so meaningful. At last, having worked hard, planned and practiced, and now accomplished this, I'm looking forward to celebrating with all my friends and family. There are a number of people I love whom I want to thank. Mom, you helped me through all the stress of this process. Even though it might not seem like it, all those times you talked to me and comforted me really helped, and it was a big part of preparing me to be here today. Also, you really helped me coordinate with everybody during my bat mitzvah project. You are always a person I talk to when challenging things are happening in my life, and you always have helpful advice. Thank you, and I love you. Dad, you also helped me in the process of me getting here, but in a different way. At the beginning, you studied the Hebrew letters with me, then helped me with the words, and then even the prayers. You also played a role in my bat mitzvah project, but helping me work with West Valley Community Resource Fair. Thank you for always being able to cheer me up when I'm not in a good mood by making funny jokes. I love you. Misha, you also helped me on my journey, even if you did not know it. Even though I might have kicked you out of my room a few times, okay, maybe more than that, when I did share what I was working on with you, you were always very supportive and encouraging to me. You have a really kind heart and are so nice to me and others. You are so thoughtful in what you do and what you say to other people. I'm glad you're my brother. I love you. Opa, you've been with me for nearly every Shabbat I've celebrated in my life, and that really means a lot to me. From when I was really little, we had Shabbat together at your house, and you taught me all the prayers. Now, whenever I say them, I think of you. I love you. In addition to my family, I also want to thank some people who are not related to me. One of them is Diane Townsend, my Hebrew teacher. You were there teaching me throughout this whole process, and I appreciate how you pushed me to excel. Cantor Doug Kotler, thank you for leading all the music for the service. You helped by showing me the process of how the service flows so that I could properly prepare for it. We are so happy that this day fell a week before your retirements. I want to thank Rabbi Paul Kipnis and Rabbi Julia Weiss for their partnership and guidance over this past year, which is filled with lots of changes. With my mom and dad, we all worked together gracefully through a range of changes, from moving my bat mitzvah date, switching officiating rabbis a few times, and brainstorming how my dad might be able to attend today on a lounger if he was not feeling better. We are so honored and grateful to be a part of this community. Rabbi Paul, thank you for being here today to help lead today's service, and for being available to me and my family, especially over this last month. I'm grateful to you for helping me think through, structure, and edit this Devar Torah speech. Finally, I want to thank all of my family and friends for being present and supporting me as I become a bat mitzvah. It means so much that you took this time to be here and that we could all be together in person. I especially want to thank those of you who have traveled from far away to be with our family today. And for those of you who could not make it in person, I really appreciate you being with me virtually via the live stream. Shabbat Shalom.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yehlanu, 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 ulechol Yisrael. Yehlanu, yehlanu, ulechol Yisrael.
Thank you. Please be seated now. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You chanted so beautifully. You led us in the service so well. You brought Torah to life. And then, in a not too long speech, you taught us some important things about you, about life, and about the relationship between Torah and life. And you made me and all these people so proud. And I know Rabbi Julia and Diane, who are watching along on the, worshiping along on the live stream, are so proud of you. So we have a couple of special things for you. Maybe. Yes. In honor of this day, among the many gifts you're going to get, this is for you. It's a mezuzah. A mezuzah goes on the doorpost, and it's in it is a scroll. I think it has it. If not, you'll get one at Shalom House. And words of Torah, Shema, Ve'ahavta, and some other prayers. It goes on the doorposts of your house or on gates or maybe for your room, about 2/3 of the way up, and it angles in. It angles in, not out, because the mezuzah is to remind us that we have to live an ethical and moral life. It's not to tell the people out there that, hey, we're Jews and you have to act this way. It points inward to remind the people who live in the house that we have a responsibility to live a higher, more ethical level. So this is a gift for you from the synagogue. In addition, I have a gift of words, of blessings. In a moment, I'm going to take this wonderful young woman before the ark and share some private words of blessing with her. During that time, I want you to imagine that you were standing in my shoes. What words of blessing, of praise would you share with Sierra? I know that later on during the weekend, you'll find a moment to pull her aside and her parents aside to share those words of praise with her. Those of you who are on the live stream, maybe while I'm blessing her before the ark, you'll drop some words of praise into the chat so that her family can look at it later on along the way. And those of you here, just sit back and listen, think those words of blessing, and we'll share it together in a little bit.
We are gifts, we are blessings, we are history in song. We are hope, we are healing, we are learning to be strong. We are words, and we are stories, we are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'dor vador nagid god lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. L'dor vador nagid god lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
That was a fantastic dress rehearsal.
Are you? The live stream wasn't working.
No,
we have
we
to
gotta
do
do the
this
whole
whole thing again.
Yeah,
Oh,
again.
wow.
I'm kidding you. We're almost there. And boy, are we excited. Now, parents, if you have to do a parent speech at some time, study what just happened here. Phenomenal, phenomenal parent speeches. But even better, Devar Torah and leading. As we move toward conclusion, we're going to take a moment to remember our loved ones who are no longer with us. The memory of them can still warm us. Their love can still inspire us. Some of you here are remembering your loved ones as we say Kaddish. As I bring my hand around the room, I invite you to mention their names and relationship to you aloud. This morning, we remember. Anyone? We remember grandparents and other loved ones. Let me have everyone turn in your prayer book to page 294. 294 here in the sanctuary, page 8 at home. And I invite you, if you're able, to please rise. As together we say, Yit Gadal v'Yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divera Chirute v'Yamlich Malchute B'chayechon v'Yamechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'Zman Kariv v'Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam U'Lolmei Almaya Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitbahar v'Yitramam v'Yitnaseh v'Yithadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shmei D'Kudusha Brichu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'ama v'imru Amen. Yehei Shloma Rabba min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Everyone.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
I just had to find out what dessert was to figure out. We're going to just, after we're done in just a minute, the bat mitzvah, the cantor and I will go in front of the ark to take a picture. And everybody else, we're going over to the Frank home for a delicious luncheon to follow. So we ask that you keep your mask on just until you get out of the sanctuary, out of the synagogue, out of the building. And then take it off if you're comfortable and go enjoy. We give thanks for the holiness of this day.
Indeed.
We give thanks for health. May it continue. We give thanks for family surrounding us. May the Shabbat be filled with blessing and thanks. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Amen. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.